Hey everybody, it's another beautiful day in Montana. I'm just gonna do a walk and talk today, and I was gonna talk a little bit about investing. I started investing for retirement when I was 14, and that's because my parents set me up with, I believe, American funds, and they put $250 in there, and I've been investing in it since. And watching that number grow throughout the years has really taught me and shown me how important it is to continue investing. And because I've been doing it for so long, I don't even notice the money that comes out. And depending on how much money I've been earning, it's been anywhere from $50 to $150 a month, and hopefully I'll continue to increase it as time passes. But for me, it's something that's always been consistent, and I've been able to see and watch it grow. But what I mainly wanted to talk about today was Acorns, which is an investing app that you can get on your phone. And I've been using this for over a year now, and I decided to start using Acorns. Well, the first time I'd seen it was when I was in South Carolina in college for an internship, and a lot of the guys there were using it, and I thought that was neat. But I already had my investing, and I was from retirement, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna stick with that. But a year and a half ago, when we made all of these decisions to move to Montana and to do all of this, I realized that I needed something more, and I also wanted something that I could physically, constantly, look at my phone and be a little more interactive with. And so I got the Acorns app, and the main reason I wanted to get it though was I had my retirement, but we were also looking at buying, going to be buying properties in 3 to 5 years. And I decided that even though we weren't making as much as we wanted to, and it was really easy to just say, we don't have any money, I decided that it was important. And so even if it was $5 a week, I was going to start investing it. And I kind of got my fiance on board too, and she said the same thing as I was thinking was, well, we don't really have that money. And it was just like, well, we do have $5 for sure. We can decide not to go to the coffee shop once. And so we started out with a very small amount, and we had continued to grow that over the past year. And one of the reasons though that I'm so glad that we started a year and a half ago was, I think that if we hadn't have started it right then, we wouldn't be doing it now. And I say that because when we were only putting in a very small amount, and then 3 months later we looked at it, it was shocking to see how much it had gone up. And that was really motivating to be like, okay, we didn't even notice that money was leaving, so let's increase it. And so we've done that multiple times. We've increased it and watched it grow, and it's been really amazing to watch. It's been really nice to have. And I know that when the time comes and we're going to buy a property, it may not cover the entire down payment, but it's going to put us a lot closer. I think that a year and a half ago, it was really easy to be like, well, we want to buy a property in 2 years, so even if we put $200 in every single month, that's only going to be like over $5,000. That's not going to put a dent in the down payment. But now that we've actually been doing it, and just how things have changed, and we realize that we're probably not going to be buying a property for 3 to 5 years. If we had never started, then we wouldn't have even had that money at all. And now in 3 to 5 years, it really will become a very large dent in what would be a down payment. And it's not only that, it's just kind of that ease of mind, and just really how easy it is to just add a little bit of money for a larger goal, and to be able to complete that in the future. So I'm really glad that we started up the Acorns. I know that my fiance is too, and I am gonna put my referral link in there. Oh, that tree's growing. Just because I do believe in it. I do recommend it to my friends and family, and I think we can both get $5. There's no reason for me to not add it. So they do random things where you can make like a few $100s if you invite like 3 friends that month. But their main reward is for every friend you add, you get $5. So there was times where it was really difficult, but I decided that that was important to me. Investing in my future and what we were doing was important. And I'm so glad I did make that decision. And watching that $5 come out, you know, every single week, and then 10, and as it increased, and not really realizing, not even seeing it leave, made me realize how much my subscriptions were doing the same exact thing. So, you know, $10 to Netflix and $5 to Hulu and Spotify and all of these little things. And even for my business with different technology things and websites that I thought I would be using that I didn't, it made me realize that they didn't feel very important, but they were becoming very important with how they were all adding up. And that $10 Netflix that I'm not using anymore because I'm using, let's say, Hulu, well, it's not helping me anymore. And if I was investing that instead, then who knows where I would be in a year, especially when they all add up. Because it's not just canceling the $10 membership, it's also then investing the $10. So as I did that, I canceled a bunch of our subscriptions. And I would say we were someone who doesn't really use subscriptions that much in the first place. And we saved quite a bit of money. It was really shocking to see how many things we still had that we weren't really using that much. So just as important, I think, as it is to how a reoccurring investment matters, the same thing, reoccurring expenses matter too. And they add up very, very quickly. Now, kind of with that, one thing that I've realized recently is that investing into savings has made me feel much more abundant. But there's one other thing that we only started doing this a month ago, and it has made a massive difference, is we both have a slush fund now. And so we just chose a dollar amount that we were willing for each person to spend with no drawback. The other person can't say anything about it. If I want to spend my $50 on Twinkies, then I can do that. I don't, and she can go and she can spend her money on anything that she wants. And then we also have a date fund. That way we're still doing things together, but it's not out of our slush. And I was shocked at, even though this is such a small amount, how much more abundant we both felt. How much we both felt like, wow, we have money. We no longer had to guilt ourselves over the money we were spending because we're already saving for our investing. Whew, Big B. We're already saving for our investing. We already have money going for retirement. We already have money doing this. And yet we're still feeling guilty and doing all these things. But then once it was in the budget that you get $50 to spend on whatever you want, it not only held us accountable to spend less money, it made us feel more abundant. So we're spending less money and feeling like we have more money. No longer having to feel like guilty over spending $50 a month on whatever we wanted. And so it was really nice to be like, I can spend this money because it's my slush money. I already have money for the retirement, for our saving for a car, doing all of this stuff. And now this money, I can just spend it. And I've always considered a budget to be constraining, but it was the first time I realized that a budget can be extremely relieving. And especially with people who kind of stress and guilt themselves over spending money like I did, or even just the unconscious swiping of the card that we were doing, now we knew. And it kind of stopped us too from going to a coffee shop, and if I didn't want coffee and she gets coffee, I end up getting coffee. Or I'd like a meal, so I go out and I get it, and she ends up getting a meal even though she doesn't really want one. Now, if it's worth it to us, we'll spend our slush money on it, and if it's not, we won't. And if it's something that we both want to do together, then it's a date fund. And then if we run out of that money, it's gone. And that's kind of part of the learning process of figuring out how much money we really were spending. And so, as just as important, I think that investing is. I think that the opposite is true, and spending conscious, knowledgeable money on the you right now. And that has made a massive difference for us in the past month with just the mental stress of it all. Just as the old Chinese proverb says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago and the second best time is today, the same thing can be said to be true about dieting, about working out, and about fitness. So it's true for almost everything in life, and even just going and jumping in the river every day. We don't really think about how that impacts us in even just the day, 3 months, a year. And a lot of times, like investing small amounts or working out or changing your diet, we don't really see a difference in 3 to 6 months, and we feel like it's not really doing anything. And maybe even sometimes in a year, you won't really see these massive changes. But then over 3 years, 5 years, the changes become abundantly clear when you made those decisions not to do small things, or you made the decision to do small things. So that's all I've got for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and a follow, and we'll see you next time.